food sensitivity analysis, also known as a food print or RAST test, radioallergosorbent test. Many of us experience sensitivities to certain types of food. These sensitivities can appear in different ways. So, is there a specific test that can help us identify which foods cause these sensitivities? This analysis can help detect whether your body is reacting negatively to certain foods. Now, here's a common question. Is there a difference between food sensitivity and food intolerance? So, if you've been dealing with strange symptoms after eating, whether skin, digestion, or brain-related, it might be time to explore a food sensitivity test. Stay with me. Peace be upon you. I'm Hussein Al-Lutfi, and you're watching the Oculus Pharmacist channel with a new episode of From A to Z Analysis. Welcome. At the start, here are the headlines of today's episode. If you're looking for a specific topic, just rewind the video to the headline and section you need. But if you want to learn everything about food sensitivity analysis, stay with me from beginning to end. As always, let's begin with a quick overview and some general background about today's topic. It's a very simple and easy subject, but some people may still get confused. To start, you need to understand two very important terms. Don't mix them up. First term, food intolerance. This means that your body can't tolerate certain foods. What does that mean? Many people, after eating a specific food, start feeling symptoms 2 or 3 hours later, once the digestion process begins. They may experience constipation, gas, diarrhea, even speech difficulties. But all these symptoms usually disappear once the person goes to the bathroom and the body gets rid of the remaining food. This is similar to lactose intolerance, sensitivity to artificial sweeteners, or issues with gluten. Important note, gluten can cause 2 different problems. 1, a type of food intolerance, which we call non-celiac gluten sensitivity. 2, the second we'll cover in a moment. You might say, I still don't understand. What does intolerance really mean? Simply put, some people are missing certain enzymes that are needed to digest specific foods. So instead of digesting the food normally, the body digests it in an abnormal way. This abnormal digestion produces toxins, gases, and compounds that may affect speech. As a result, symptoms like gas, constipation, side pain, and bloating can appear. But again, once the body expels the undigested food, the symptoms go away. Second term, food allergy. This is the one we care most about in today's episode. It means your body is sensitive to certain foods. When you hear the word allergy, remember, it means a problem comes from the immune system. What does that mean? A person eats a food, the body digests it properly, and some proteins from that food enter the bloodstream. Then, the immune system identifies those proteins as harmful or foreign and begins to attack them. This is when the symptoms of food allergy begin to appear. We'll explain those symptoms in the next section, but keep in mind, many illnesses can look very similar. That's why a doctor must always be sure of the correct diagnosis before starting any treatment. The second title in today's episode, what are the symptoms of food allergies? As we mentioned earlier, the immune system starts reacting to specific proteins found in food. This reaction appears in the body through 3 main types of symptoms. 1, skin-related symptoms. 2, digestive system, colon and intestines. 3, respiratory system symptoms. Let's begin with the skin symptoms. The allergic reactions that appear on the skin. Here, we have 3 well-known forms. First, the appearance of urticaria, commonly known as hives. This often happens about 2 to 3 hours after eating a food the body is sensitive to, such as fish. A large, red, raised spot appears on the skin. It feels swollen and itchy, with very intense itching. Second, the reaction may show up as angioedema, a more dangerous condition that requires hospital care. It starts with swelling around the eyes, lips, and ears. There may also be a drop in blood pressure. This can lead to serious complications, so emergency treatment is required immediately. Third, the reaction may take the form of eczema. When you hear eczema, think of a delayed allergy, which appears days or even weeks after eating the food. It's also an immune system reaction to the food proteins. There are different types of eczema. Acute appears and clears within a few weeks or months. Subacute symptoms can last up to 3 weeks. Chronic lasts longer than that. Common symptoms of eczema include redness, itching, skin flaking or peeling, cracks or fissures in the skin. In some cases, the inflammation leaves scars and may cause areas of skin to become either darker or lighter than normal. This is called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation or hypopigmentation. Now we move to the second category of symptoms: digestive problems related to the gastrointestinal tract. These symptoms are similar to indigestion: gas, bloating, vomiting, abdominal pain, and sometimes diarrhea. You might ask, how do I tell the difference between food allergy and simple indigestion? That's a great question, and we'll answer it clearly in the next section when we talk about the testing steps. But the main clue lies in the blood analysis, as we'll explain. Now to the third category of allergic reactions: respiratory system symptoms. These may include difficulty breathing, sleep disturbances, chest tightness, strange sounds or wheezing, shortness of breath, and other related symptoms. Now you may ask, okay, I see the symptoms, but how exactly does this happen in the body? Let's explain it in a simple way. Inside your body, you have immune cells called mast cells. These cells circulate in your blood and are packed with small containers filled with histamine. When you eat a certain food and your body sees it as a threat, the proteins from that food bind to the mast cells. This triggers a reaction, causing the mast cells to burst open, releasing histamine. So what does histamine do? It binds to receptors found on the walls of blood vessels under your skin. These blood vessels are like nets. They're not completely sealed. When histamine attaches, it widens the gaps in the net. Fluid starts leaking out from the vessels into the skin. This causes swelling. The swelling and extra fluid cause a raised skin appearance we see in urticaria. The redness? That's from widened blood vessels and more red blood cells reaching the area. That's what gives the skin its red color, called erythema. Histamine also affects the nerves, causing them to fire, making you feel itchiness or discomfort. This is what happens in immediate allergic reactions, like urticaria. But not all allergic symptoms happen right away. Some occur later, and not because of histamine. These are caused by other immune signals, called cytokines. These are released slowly and build up over time, also triggered by reactions between food proteins and the immune system. And that's how we now understand the difference between food intolerance and food allergy, the symptoms of food allergies, and how the body reacts when exposed to certain proteins in food. The third topic in today's episode: how can a doctor identify the type of food allergy you have? This is the core topic of our episode today. How does a doctor figure out what specific food you're allergic to? In reality, there are 4 types of tests that can help identify where the food allergy comes from. You might ask, why should I even do these tests? Simply put, because any treatment for a food allergy, whatever the type, always begins with the first and most important step: stop the cause. What does that mean? It makes no sense for me to give you a bunch of medications, creams, cortisone, antihistamines, and at the same time, we don't eliminate the food causing the problem. As long as the cause is still in your diet, you will continue to suffer from the symptoms, like nausea, vomiting, or skin rashes. So again, step 1. Find and stop the cause. That's the entire point of today's episode. We want to help you understand the cause and eliminate it. Now, let's talk about the 4 main tests your doctor might use. 1. Skin allergy test, also known as the skin prick test. The idea is simple. We take small, concentrated samples of different foods, especially those common in your area, and we apply them to your skin by pricking or scratching the surface slightly. Then, we watch to see how your body reacts. If there's a reaction, like redness, swelling, or small bumps at that spot, that tells us your body is reacting to that particular food. And just like that, we start to identify the allergen. 2. The RASD test. RASD equals radioallergosorbent test, also sometimes called food print in certain countries. This is a blood test, and it's considered the gold standard in food allergy testing. It works by measuring specific antibodies in your blood, called IgA antibodies. What are these? IgA is a protein your immune system produces in response to allergens, like food proteins. So, this test checks how much IgA your body has for different foods. The results are usually divided into 3 levels. High sensitivity. Even a tiny amount of this food causes strong allergic symptoms. Moderate sensitivity. Small amounts may not trigger a noticeable reaction, but larger amounts definitely will. Low or no sensitivity. You can eat this food safely. Your body doesn't react to it. This test helps identify multiple food allergies in one go, quickly and accurately. 3. Food allergy challenge. This test is very accurate, but also very risky, so it must be done in a hospital setting. Here's how it works. The patient is admitted to the hospital. For 2 days, they consume only water, no food, to clear out any food residues or allergens. All medications, especially anti-allergy meds, are also stopped. Basically, we wash the body clean. Then, we start introducing common food allergens, one at a time, usually under the tongue, like a small controlled dose. Doctors then observe whether any skin or bodily reactions occur. Why is this test done in a hospital? Because the foods being tested are highly concentrated, and once they enter the bloodstream, they can cause severe allergic reactions, even anaphylactic shock. That's why doctors must be nearby, ready to intervene if anything dangerous happens. It's very different from skin testing. Here, the food enters the entire body, not just the skin. 4. Elimination diet. This method is popular and widely used. Here's the idea. If someone suspects a certain food is causing an allergy, they stop eating it for 1 to 2 weeks. Then they eat that food again, alone, without mixing it with anything else. If symptoms appear within 2 to 3 hours, that means the food likely caused a reaction. Simple, right? But there's a problem. This method only helps you find one food allergy at a time. It doesn't detect multiple sensitivities. And many people are allergic to 5, 10, or even 20 different food items. Plus, a lot of foods we eat aren't consumed alone. They're mixed in with other ingredients or added as hidden components. That makes it hard to identify the real cause just by observation. So, if you suspect that you have any kind of food allergy, these are the 4 tools that can help doctors accurately detect the problem. 1. Skin prick test. 2. RASD food print blood test. 3. Food challenge in hospital. 4. Elimination diet. The 4th and final topic in today's episode. What are the most common foods that cause allergies? Let's wrap up with one of the most important points. Which foods around us are most commonly known to trigger food allergies? Here are the top culprits. 1. Dairy products. This includes milk, cheese, yogurt, cream, and other milk-based items. These are some of the most common triggers for allergic reactions. 2. Eggs, especially egg whites. Keep this in mind. Some people might only react to specific brands of eggs. Why? Because the diet of the chicken affects the protein structure in the egg. For example, you might find that eggs from one brand cause no issues, while another brand triggers a reaction, simply because the chickens were fed differently. 3. Peanuts, Sudanese beans, one of the most well-known allergy-causing foods. And it's not just the whole peanut. Many processed foods contain peanut butter or peanut traces. Watch out for sweets, snack bars, sauces, peanut oils. These can all contain hidden peanuts. 4. Tree nuts. This includes crackers, walnuts, almonds, and others. These are especially important to watch in pregnant or breastfeeding women. You might ask, why are crackers and nuts concerned for pregnant women? Here's the explanation. During pregnancy, many women develop a temporary condition called insulin resistance. Due to weight gain and hormonal changes, this raises insulin levels and often leads to sugar cravings. After birth, the mother might continue consuming a lot of sweets, especially chocolates that contain crackers and nuts. When she breastfeeds, the proteins from those foods are passed through her breast milk to the baby. That's why we see many infants develop atopic dermatitis. Their faces become red, inflamed, and dry. In many cases, it's not the baby's fault, but rather a result of what the mother is eating during breastfeeding. 5. Soy. Soybeans and soy products, like soy milk, soy-based snacks, and meat substitutes, are becoming more and more common. But soy is also one of the most frequent food allergens, especially in children. 6. Wheat gluten. Gluten is the protein found in wheat, and there are two main problems people can have with it. Gluten intolerance, non-immune. The body struggles to digest gluten properly, causing digestive symptoms, but not an immune system response. Gluten allergy, celiac disease. This is an immune reaction to gluten and requires a completely gluten-free diet. To know the difference, your doctor will usually do a proper diagnostic test, which may include a biopsy from the small intestine. 7. Fish. Fish allergies are common, especially with salmon, tuna, mackerel. However, it's important to know, being allergic to one type of fish does not mean you're allergic to all fish. Each species has different proteins, so a person might react to tuna, but not to salmon or mackerel. Final words. And with that, we've reached the end of our video on food allergy and sensitivity. I hope you found this episode helpful and full of valuable information. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. You can also support the channel on Patreon, PayPal, or directly through YouTube. Until next time, good night. I'm Hussein Al-Lutfi, and you've been watching Oculus Pharmacist.